why I work for Helping Hand. What is the mindset? What made me get into it? I'm not going to go too far or too deep into it. But I've always been, alhamdulillah, due to my family's strict upbringing, I've always been involved with the masjid. I've always been involved with the Muslim community on a local level. And I got married in 2015. And after I got married, I fell ill. And I was bedridden for a little bit of time. And after that, I got better. And we were doing some remodeling in our house. And when we were remodeling our house, my mother, she was a very active lady. She wasn't, super old. She was like 47, 48 at that time, but very active. And she was putting something up and she got this pain in her arm. And when she got this pain in her arm, it stayed for a few weeks. She went to visit the doctor. And she comes back from the doctor and she's washing dishes in the kitchen. And she's sad. And I can tell, I'm an only child. I can tell when my mother is sad. My mother's very sad. And I said, what happened? And she says, I have cancer, breast cancer. And it's stage 4. And so I just started crying. I was like 27, 28. I started crying and she's like, it's going to be okay. Inshallah, I'm going to make it through this. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was extremely overcome with emotions. And for the course of the next year, and then I went to go get my wife's paperwork went through. I went to go pick her up. And over the course of the next year, the challenges I went through, and I can't imagine the challenges my mother went through, they were unimaginable. She was a very strong woman. She took a break in between her chemotherapy to go visit her sick and ailing mother in Pakistan for 2 weeks. And she came back. And when she came back, she said to me one thing. She said, Asad, if you ever get the opportunity to help out children who have lost their parents to any disease, cancer, heart disease, or anything, take this opportunity. At that time, I didn't pay attention to what she was saying really because of what was going on. I said, inshallah, I'll do that. And I had a friend who had lost his mother to cancer, and we used to talk all the time. And so, my mother passed away 3 months afterwards. And, obviously overcome with grief. I can imagine anybody who's lost a parent, a grandparent, anybody, the sort of situation you go through is unimaginable. So after this, my wife, she got pregnant sometime after. And we went to the doctor's office, you have your regular visits, and we went for the 3rd or 4th visit. And when we went for this 3rd or 4th visit, we were having the ultrasound, and during the ultrasound technician, she goes pale. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I can't say anything. Those are the worst words you can hear. I can't say anything. And so we go to the doctor, and the doctor goes to another doctor, and they look at the ultrasounds, and they're like, we have bad news. We don't think your child's gonna make it. And this is 6 months within my mother's passed away. And I'm like completely destroyed. I'm like, I just lost my mother. I'm gonna lose my child within the course of 6 months. And so for the next month, I basically slept like maybe 2 hours at night. That was it. And made dua all night, made dua all day. And just that was what was going on. I took my wife on a small trip for a weekend. We came back. It didn't make a difference. We go to the doctor's office, and the doctor, ultrasound, a specialist. They gave us an appointment after a month. We go to the specialist, and the specialist is sitting there, and she's like, why are you guys so stiff? What's going on? She does the ultrasound. She said, alhamdulillah, everything's okay. There's nothing wrong with the baby. They misread it or something. Wallahu alam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes everything. And even in this situation, I believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the outcome. And so my child is born. I go through some more challenges, and I remembered my mother's reminder, or what my mother said to me, to help out these children, to help out these kids who went through this. And what happens is, a brother from Helping Hand by the name of Talha Jawed is our youth empowerment director now. He takes youth trips, and inshallah, the YM brothers and sisters, please go on the HHRD website. Look, we're going to Jordan. Brother's trip is at the end of July, and sister's trip is in the beginning of August. It's a good opportunity to volunteer and help out for our brothers and sisters who really need this help. So Talha comes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the one who sent him. I sit down with him. He's like, at that time I was on a masjid board. And he comes and he's like, hey, we do these clothing drives. And I got involved. I started helping out. And I'm helping out. And one day he calls me and he's like, during COVID, he's like, do you want a job? I know you've been looking for a job. I've been doing business my whole life. I got burnt out. I'm like, sure, anything. And before I started, I helped raise a good bit of money for orphans because this was my mother's wish. To help out those children who went through something so depressing, so emotionally depressing, that how can I help them out? And I said, this is the opportunity. This is what my mother told me to do. And this is what I'm going to do. So I took the job. And when I do this job, when I go to a locality or when I go to a community, when I talk with people, I tell them that when I took this job, I took it because I want to feel and I want to know that I'm helping somebody out. And the day I don't feel that anymore, I will leave this job. Because I don't want to be a person who just does a job for the purpose of earning money. We all need to earn money. But we really have to get that feeling. And we really have to get that emotional upliftment from what we're doing. And when I do this, I really get it. I see those pictures of those children who are directly benefiting from the donations of our donors, from the benefit the benefit they get from the donation I give myself. And it takes me to a whole nother level. So inshallah, I'm going to share a few slides. Go over it real quick. Helping Hand is obviously, it's one of the parts of ICNA. There's YM, there's Y Islam, there's Helping Hand, there's ICNA Relief. And so we do events, we do clothing drives where you can go to your local Helping Hand office, send clothing overseas and help out our brothers and sisters. Gently and nicely used clothing. We can help out our brothers and sisters who really need the help. They get these clothing and we send out reports. You can see, you sent a nice comforter, you can see a family getting it. You sent a nice dress, sometimes we have wedding dresses and we're never going to wear them. We send those and you see a sister who's looking to get married who can't afford a wedding dress. Now she's getting married in that same wedding dress. We do programs, we have basketball tournaments, we do cookouts, we do petting zoos to help enrich the local community as well. ICNA does the local work, but we also reach out to our localities. And then we do the youth trips, like I said, for Haiti, for Jordan. We're going to Jordan in, at the end of summer. We just went to Kenya. I think there are some brothers here. Who are the brothers? I think there's 3 or 4 brothers and a few sisters who went. If you can raise your hand so people can see you. If you just went to Kenya. We just took a trip to Kenya and those brothers and sisters who went, they said it changed their life. And this is what Helping Hand does. Helping Hand takes the funds that you give and we help out our brothers and sisters overseas. And we're not just giving them a fish and saying, okay, that's it. We're giving them the rod to change their lives. There's children who are in our education department, in our orphan support program, who are getting education. There's children who become doctors. There are children who become engineers. There are children who become police officers. They are changing their own locality. There are sisters. There was last year, 75 children in Jordan, they completed the Quran. They did tahfiz al-Quran, they became hafiz and hafiza. But with them, 30 mothers memorized Quran. 30 mothers memorized Quran. And can you imagine the situation that they're going through? They don't have, these are mothers of orphans. They don't have a husband to look after them. They don't have the whole system like we have over here. But they're not worried about that. They're like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of us. Let me do what I can to please my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we do all of these things for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I do this job for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All I went through was a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to test me and to take me to the next level so I can do this and so I can help these brothers and sisters who live in these tents, who live in these places which are unimaginable to ourselves who live in the West. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us an opportunity to make a change in the life of all of these brothers and sisters. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, may He give us a better understanding, may He forgive us, and may He accept what we are all doing, and may He accept what I am doing to fulfill the wishes of my mother. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.